Let's go watch it in 2D. No, let's go watch it in 3D. But if we watch it in 3D, then is it worth the cost?
Hurricane David is poised to be the first hurricane.
It's a storm. That's what's driven them all up north.
I've never seen so many of them nor so bold.
It's barely even raining.
It's flooding here, and not the plumbing, the ocean.
You need to go home.
I'm not going anywhere.
Storm's coming and it's coming fast. Just can't sit back and watch this.
Tornado's heading towards the airport. We need to destroy it before it gets to them. Watch out!
You can't just wait here and wait for sharks to rain down on us.
Hello. This is Adolph Vega. I have with me Jake.
Hello.
And this is a podcast exclusive. So, recently, when we posted our Godzilla King of the Monsters 3D movie review, Jake mentioned in that review about Sharknado 3D. And we have quite a few people comment on the video that they want to know more about this Sharknado 3D because they didn't know about it. So, and we go ahead and give everyone that was that commented a shout out. So that way, you know, we do appreciate your likes. And if you did not like our movies before or did not subscribe, well, this is definitely your opportunity to, because we do definitely appreciate our fans. All right. Chris Washington is the one that originally started this thread. Joseph Rusnak did also comment in this thread. And Joe Santoro also said that. I apologize if I mispronounced any of these names, but these three people all wanted to know more about Sharknado 3D. And Sharknado 3D, there's going to be a review, and this is that review. Now, I have not seen Sharknado. I know about them. There's like 5 movies, right?
I guess. This is the only one I've ever seen.
So, tell me more about this 3D Blu-ray.
Okay, it is a German-only release. And since hasn't been released anywhere else in the world in 3D, I think it is safe to presume that this is a German conversion. And like most of these German discs, it is hard region coded. So that means to play it, you have to have a 3D Blu-ray player that can play region B Blu-rays. That is to get the 3D effect. If you do not have it will default to 2D. Having said that, I found watching the 2D version with the 3D conversion on my TV gave a far superior 3D experience to the actual 3D version that was on the disc.
So, the German company that did this decided on their own to release it? It was not like a decision from the producers or directors and stuff?
I don't know, because that would be... But whoever did this conversion should be bitch slapped to eternity and back. Of course, the conversion this movie got is the conversion this movie deserves. It's kind of fitting because of the quality of the film and the 3D. I mean, it does kind of go together in a package of equal awfulness.
So, like Piranha 3D, I thought was really gimmicky and funny, and, you know, back then I didn't think the 3D was that good for that movie. Came out, it was like, what, 10 years ago maybe now?
I thought the 3D, this movie doesn't have the wit or the charm or the snark of Piranha 3D. I mean, spoilers, you have to admit the penis eating bit is hilarious.
Oh yeah, I was crying in laughter about that.
And Jerry O'Connell is the douchey director. He was spot on, perfect.
Yeah, I just, that scene, I wish it was a little bit less dark, but yeah, I mean, it was hilariously ridiculous. That's part of the reason I could probably find in the archives my review of Piranha 3D, and like I gave it like a -10 or something because it was so horrible, but it was so much fun.
This is one of those movies that I would call an F+. It's craptastic. Sharknado tries to be that, but it is not. You can't deliberately make a bad, good movie. This is the Asylum is basically, we're going to try to make a movie like Tommy Wiseau or Neil Breen or Ed Wood or Phil Tucker. You can't capture that lightning in a bottle deliberately. It's just an alchemy of stuff that just happens. You can't capture it. And Sharknado just proves that in spades. I mean, and the movie's actually rather insulting. I mean, the cinematography is almost non-existent. The credits roll by so fast at the end, and I did not feel like pausing them to read. But I would be surprised to find out that this movie had a cinematographer, a director of photography, and a cameraman, all separate positions. I mean, this looks like a movie that was shot on a home video camera.
Now, but Jake, before we get more into it, just to confirm for the audience listening, you do have a 3D Blu-ray player, and you do have 3D Blu-rays and 3D TV, and for other 3D releases, it looks great, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it cannot be blamed on your equipment.
Yeah, it won't be. Yeah, I have a pretty good old LG, and I also have all region capability. I've had it long before I had a 3D Blu-ray player, so there's not a disc on this planet I can't play.
I just want to make sure that people are aware of that. People don't cry, well, you probably have a bad, TV, or you probably have a bad Blu-ray player. It's your fault. It's not the disc's fault. So you have 3D Blu-rays that work fine and look great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, basically the mastering of this disc is the movie is just window boxed, which means it's just offset. So the picture just looks like it's pushed back. There's no attempt to create any depth inside the frame other than pushing it back. The only other disc I've ever come across that is this poor quality is a Russian bootleg of Gladiator that somebody gave me. And I think they gave it to me because it was truly abysmal. And I don't know if I should say thanks or be insulted. And since it's a burnt Blu-ray, it doesn't even make a really good drink coaster.
So, there's no real pop out here. There's no real depth here. It's just kind of like two planes.
Like I said, when I watched the 2D version and hit the because my LG TV has a 3D conversion button, so I can convert anything to 3D on the fly. And the results are mixed. Well, I mean, it's fun to watch things like Project Runway in 3D sometimes, or The Flash in 3D. It's fun. Watching this was that my TV did a better conversion than the company that put this Blu-ray out.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Just want to, put the flag down that you have a setup that can definitely project great pop out, great depth. You don't have so that's not going to be, no one can cry and say, well, it's, Jake's fault for having a bad setup. No.
I even went in and reset my settings a few times to check this disc, to check this out, to make sure I had the 3D depth set deep enough. I changed it around. No matter what settings I changed and what I did, it did not improve the 3D. I mean, to say this is weak 3D is an understatement. I would go as far as to say that this is faux 3D. I mean, this is why conversions have a bad rep. Because all these German conversions. Not every German conversion looks this way. I actually have several German conversions that are pretty good. This is the worst of the worst. conversion-wise. Like I said, only thing that it compares to is this Russian bootleg of Gladiator that is somebody. I don't even know where my friend got it. I imagine it at some truck stop or something. Some guy's going, want to buy 3D Blu-rays in the parking lot or something. Well, on to the movie. The cinematography in this movie is almost non-existent. The color correction doesn't exist. Yeah, they didn't even bother to color correct this movie. So scene to scene, it'll be, one scene will be a bluish tinge, the next scene will be a yellow tinge, then you go back to blue, then, this thing is so poorly edited together, you can't place where people are spatially. The effects there's actually some good miniature effects in this. I mean, like Godzilla movie quality, which stand out like a sore, which pisses me off because the CG in this makes Birdemic look like Academy Award winning work. And Birdemic, some people consider it to be the worst movie ever made.
Okay.
The effects are atrocious. So people who are into these really bad movies know what Birdemic is, and The Room.
Not the good room with with the
Blue
little girl.
The masterpiece directed by Tommy Wiseau that has to be seen to be believed.
Is this like worse than like Superman 4?
Have you seen a movie that is so bad it becomes great?
Yeah, here and there, yeah.
Tommy Wiseau is one of those directors. He's this generation's Ed Wood Jr.
Oh, what about like Macamee? Like that's a good one. That's a really bad. That's really fun.
Yeah, I got dragged to that as a kid. I know, maybe I should sue my parents for child abuse.
Macamee is so bad, but so funny. It's so stupid.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Oh, and well, I guess we should get back to Sharknado. Well, we're getting off topic because, face it, there's not much to this movie at all. It's predictable. It's trope after trope after trope. There's nothing to it. I mean, I think that's the point of this. It's like, laugh at how bad this is. Well, it is bad. It's poorly made. It's sloppy. There's no care whatsoever. It's actually rather insulting.
So what's the story about a shark and a tornado make love, and this is the movie that's based off of that?
So it's global warming has caused I thought they were on the West Coast typhoons, but we get Hurricane David instead of Typhoon David, whatever. Creates these giant tornado water spouts that pick sharks up out of the water and just throw them on land. And then whenever, arbitrarily, and then we have a hero who looks like a cross between Chris Pratt and Michael Fassbender. Actually, I joked. I said it looks like Michael Fassbender ate Chris Pratt. Terrible. Tara Reid is by far the best actor in this movie.
So, did the tornadoes pick up other sea creatures like octopuses or fish or...
Just bad CGI sharks.
Okay.
I mean, they're funny because they make a couple of Jaws references. The only effect in the whole movie that worked were the miniatures of a Ferris wheel. I mean, the effects are terrible. I mean, this movie is terrible and incompetent on every level. And it's cliched. I mean, I'm guessing this was the point of it. But, well, you ain't Tommy Wiseau and you ain't Neil Breen. You can't capture you can't capture this magic in a bottle. It just happens. And the fact that audiences rewarded this movie and it generated 5 sequels, is, well, if you promoted this, then you deserve those 5 sequels. I'm smart enough to bail after 1. And I will be checking out Tommy Wiseau's take on he's doing his own shark movie. I've already seen the trailer for it. It looks positively craptastic, and can't wait to see it in the big screen. And I hope it's in 3D, because I would love it.
So what's like the story? Is it just like the tornadoes are hitting people and they're just like panicking, or what?
Yes, exactly. There's a ex-husband getting together with his wife, cliche. I mean, and that's about it. They try to stop the tornadoes using a bomb similar to what they blew up Jaws with. Propane. Yeah, go figure. Didn't know you could blow up tornadoes. Gee, I lived in Oklahoma for several years. Never seen anybody blow up a tornado.
Now, I think in Australia they have fire tornadoes. Wouldn't that make it into a fire Sharknado?
Oh, that would have been more awesome. Then you'd have had barbecue then dinner would have been delivered to you. But this is just swirling around, and so when the plot needed a shark to drop, it drops. I mean, there's no real characters, no real characterization. Tara Reid was the best. John Hurd, not Hurt, Hurd, basically plays some guy who you find out is some rich dude who just hangs out on the beach because the beers are only $4 as opposed to $20. And that goes nowhere. I mean, nothing goes anywhere. Honestly, this is the first movie. I would actually give this movie a 0. And if you had a rating worse than Weak 3D, I would give it that too. But your lowest rating is Weak 3D, so that's what I'm going to give it.
Okay. Well, I mean, this is for fun. It's not like, it's just...
Yeah, well, the thing is, this disc is way out of print. If you want it, you're going to pay a fortune for it. And personally, if you've got a 3D setup, just spend like $5 and get a Blu-ray of Sharknado, and then just hit the 3D. If your player your TV should have a thing on it that you can do conversions on the fly. Do that. Trust me. It'll be a much better experience. I had a lot more fun watching the conversion. Because I just there's some set pieces that are slightly amusing. Like the Chinese businessman who's trying to buy shark fins for shark fin soup. Him getting his comeuppance, along with the scumbags, slaughtering the sharks that way.
Okay.
I never would say this, and if you got to see a shark movie in 3D, you got The Meg. I mean, The Meg is better than this, even as grim as it is. Shark Night. You can find a relatively inexpensive all-region Blu-ray out of Hong Kong. I mean, it may be PG-13, but the 3D is great. And some of it is actually real 3D. Some of the stuff shot in the water is not a conversion. It's some nice 3D in there. And it's a pretty good movie. It's a lot better than this. Heck, it's even better than The Meg. As 3D shark movie. And then if you want craptastic and some good 3D, Piranha. It may not be sharks exactly, but it kind of fits in that shark genre. Just go with me. Trust me. A whole bunch of piranhas equal a shark in these type of movies.
What about Jaws 3D?
Oh yeah, well, Jaws 3D is, they just threw that, they just threw that movie with no cleanup or anything, so it's really rough. And you're gonna probably have to go mess with your settings on your TV to get, any decent 3D out of it. But it is worth it, even though it's misaligned, and you're probably gonna have to take a couple of breaks, because it gave me headaches. But hey, when I saw Jaws 3D in the theaters, it had baked misalignments in it, and that gave me headaches because it was so misaligned. So, warning there. Just take some aspirin and you're good. But Jaws, and to be honest, I was actually forgetting about Jaws 3D, which I can't believe. Jaws 3D is a rush. Is it a good movie? No. But they managed to capture crap in a bottle, because they were trying to make a great movie and failed spectacularly. But it's a lot of fun. The effects are laughably funny. And you can get Jaws 3D, I think on Blu-ray, I think for around $10, as opposed to cause heck, I've already been offered $75 for my Sharknado 3D Blu-ray, and I'm real tempted to take it.
All right, so I guess that's our review of Sharknado 3D. Don't get it. It's not worth your money or your time.
Yeah. It's just not that craptastic. It's just crap.
All right, so I definitely hope that our people on YouTube, Chris Washington, Jim Cameron, or not that Jim Cameron, but Chris Washington.
And I just rewatched it again because I wanted to make sure I didn't remember it more fondly or less fondly than it actually was. And I'm glad I did because I actually remembered the 3D not being this bad. Hey, what can I say? I'm getting old.
So again, thank you our YouTube fans, Chris Washington, Joseph Rusnak, and Joe Santoro for all commenting and wanting this review. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had fun with this. If you haven't already, for the love of God, please subscribe and like this and like our videos because we're doing this for you, for the fans. So, if you want, we're going to try. I mean, it's a really busy summer, so we can't do all the requests. But, occasionally we'll try to do stuff for the fans,
Okay. It was my pleasure to dig this out and sit through this again.
All right. Well, that's going to be it for this podcast. Bye.
Bye.
All right, before this podcast ends, I want to give a thank you to my patrons. Right now, we have one patron, which is David from Spain, and I want to thank you for your financial support. All right, so that's going to be it for this podcast.
We now have a Patreon, and the link is in the description. Thanks for watching.
And we are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, a little bit everywhere. Just look for us 3D or 2D. And of course, review us on iTunes. And if you want to write us a letter, our email address is email3dortwo2d@gmail.com. So that's going to be it. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone.